Hey everyone, it's Alice here again and welcome back to my playthrough of Ace Attorney Investigations. In the last video we finished the first half of episode 2, Turnabout Airlines. Edgeworth has yet again been caught up in a murder investigation, but this time it was during his flight. We're back on land now though, and we're ready to do some serious investigating to get to the bottom of who killed Mr. Hicks and how. If you haven't seen part 3 yet, take a look at the linked playlist in the description, otherwise you might be a little bit confused. Let's go! Okay, March 12th, 1 PM local time, Hope Springs Airport. I know that once we had landed, I'm supposed to let the local police take over. And thanks to Miss Tornado and Miss Meal, I was able to preserve the crime scene. But I just can't shake it. I wasn't able to talk with Miss Tornado in private. So I'm left wondering just what was she up to? Why did she do what she did? So I think he's referring to the fact that she lied about having spoken to the captain and getting permission to investigate the crime scene. There must be a way for me to continue my investigation. There will be, Edgeworth, otherwise there'd be no game. Okay, I'm guessing by the music. I think I know who this might be. I've been expecting you, Miles Edgeworth. Yes, it is who I thought it was. Franziska, I thought you were still in Germany. I go where I'm needed. And wherever there are criminals to be caught. Her name is Franziska von Karma. Daughter of my mentor, Manfred von Karma. She, like myself, is a prosecutor. Everyone in this game is some kind of lawyer. Have you noticed they're all really wacky as well? Ah, well. Are you heading up this case? It would be a bit of a relief if you are. Don't you try to flatter me. Miles Edgeworth, I'm placing you under arrest. Did she whip him? Like, that's dangerous. Could seriously injure somebody. She shouldn't. That should be a weapon. It's a weapon, right? Why is she allowed to have that, especially in an airport? What? It's quite frustrating, actually. I had hoped to exact my revenge on you in a different venue. Well, I'll have to take what I can get. I never thought I'd see the day when a disciple of the House of von Karma would become a criminal. Have you no shame? Wait, it has all been a big misunderstanding. I didn't kill the victim. A misunderstanding? I heard all about the murder all over the police radio from the captain himself. You waited for the victim on the first floor and then beat him to death. Franziska, do you honestly believe that I killed a man? It is very out of character for him, isn't it? I suppose I should reserve judgment until after I have investigated this for myself. I can put your arrest on hold until then. That's as it should be. Ha! I don't need a lecture on how to perform my duties from you of all people. To be perfect in every way, the fulfillment of that creed alone is all I strive for. While I have my own creed, which I must fulfill, so why don't we solve this together? I have to get going. The crime scene awaits. Don't you dare leave town. Oh no, we're not going to leave town. We want to get back on that plane and do some more investigating. I didn't get to look at the first class area. Do you remember where Edgeworth was sitting? And I kind of rushed down to the first floor because I thought, oh, we'll surely get to go back here later. And we didn't, so I'm hoping we get to go back there now. Trust me, I had no intention to. Detective Gumshoe! Oh, yes, Gumshoe's back. Yes, sir. Too slow. Ow! Listen up, I'm leaving you in charge of watching this man. Don't mess up, understand? Mr. Edgeworth, I'm supposed to guard him? A simple yes or no, detective. Yes, sir. Understood, sir. You just leave it to me. Miles Edgeworth, If you interfere with my investigation, I'll arrest you on the spot. Are we clear? Now then, if you'll excuse me. Oh, that was a really cute curtsy. Do that again. I'm sure she'll do it later. Good to see you again, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Boy, am I glad to see you're okay. Thank you, Detective. I believe in you, sir. You can lean on me. I'll get you through this. I have to admit, I'm a bit curious as to what Franziska is up to. Maybe I should ask the good detective. Very well. In that case, I have a few questions for you. In fact, let's have a look first. What a view of the planes preparing for takeoff. Besides the turbulence, they're really not all that bad as a mode of transportation. Looking from behind. I think I've seen this man somewhere before. Yeah, isn't he something to do with the Steel Samurai? I'm sure he is. I'm not going to try and read this. Oh, cringe. Oh no. It would be really interesting to see what this is in Japanese. Oh, you guys can read this. So the Steel Samurai's finally getting a movie. Oh, I bet Edgeworth's pleased about that. He seemed like he was a secret fan. Isn't he the guy who was wearing his life vest on the plane? This man was in first class with me. He was quite shaken up by the whole affair. I did it. I made it the whole flight. I'm not scared of turbulence anymore. He must have been pretty scared. He's repeating the same thing over and over to himself. Lunchland. Not bad. I guess it's gotten big enough to warrant its own branch shops. Which should I go with? I recommend our airport special, World Flags lunchboxes, only available for a limited time. We have a variety of lunchboxes made up to look like different countries' flags. That sounds really cool. I would love one of those. I wonder if they're aiming to take Lunchland to the international market. Okay, right, now we'll talk to Gumshoe. Initial investigation. So, how is the initial investigation going? We just shipped the body off to the coroner's office. And we're taking statements now, sir. That sounds like Franziska. She was always good at quick responses to a case. I'd say she was a little too quick, sir. Oh? How so? I rushed on over as soon as I got word of the affair, sir. But somehow, when I got here, Miss Von Karma was already here barking out orders at everyone. It was kind of creepy, as though she knew there had been a murder or something, and had come in advance to await your flight's arrival. Or maybe she just wanted to greet Edgeworth as he got off the plane. That is sort of odd, or maybe it's more nefarious than that. She did show up rather quickly and out of the blue. Plus, I still don't know why she's here in America. There must be some backstory to all of this. Let's ask him about Von Karma. Miss Von Karma just kind of popped up at the prosecutor's office about a week ago, sir. Something about chasing down leads related to a certain incident. No details? It's kind of top secret, so she can't talk about it, even with me, sir. Knowing her, the only type of talking she likes to do is with her whip. Plus, I doubt the top secret part was what stopped her from talking to you, Detective. Oh, that face that he does. It just makes me feel so sad. Although, I wonder if her case has anything to do with mine. Anyway, that's about all the info I have, sir. We should find out more as we investigate. Yes, it is high time to resume my investigation. Starting with talking to the people involved in this case afresh. Yeah, let's go. I wonder if we can go... Yeah, this way, right? Oh, okay, great. So we can explore this area. I was really hoping that we would come back here. Okay, so we're back on the flight G390, second floor, first class. So, you must be the captain. Why, yes, I am. And who might you be? I am the prodigy prosecutor, Franziska von Karma, and I have a few questions for you. Ah, don't you dare, Captain. Getting friendly with another woman? He's your boss, that's so inappropriate. I'll never forgive you if you do. What are you talking about? I only have eyes for you, my dear Cammy. I wouldn't bet money on our dear Captain to be much of a reputable person. Sure you don't want to ask the Captain some questions, sir? He was in the cockpit the entire time. I highly doubt he would know anything of use. Anyway, I like to leave that kind of witness to Franziska and her whip. Oh, his law book. Don't forget to grab that, Edgeworth. Ah! What was that? No, I want to go back in there. Back in the lounge again. Oh no, not this guy again. Oh, his voice really hurt my throat last time. Now, see here. Ah! Sorry. I'm sorry. How long do you intend to hold me? It is impossible for me to be the criminal. I told you. Mr. LeBlanc. Oh, it's you. Tell this man to stop stopping me from going. Yeah, he must be getting so annoyed right now because his whole thing is, well, yeah, time is money. Time is money. I don't have even 1 second of wasteful time to spend. You know what? Bye. I want to look at this place. The man in this seat was constantly drinking something. Yeah, grape juice, I think. You know, right before payday, I do nothing but drink the soup from my instant noodles. That much sodium can't be healthy. You might want to go in for a checkup. I said that. I think it was in the first video when he spoke about his paycheck and he only drinks instant noodles. I'm pretty sure I said something about sodium. Ho ho, did you really think I was serious, Mr. Edgeworth? Wow, I'm sorry, sir. I'll never make another joke like that again. Edgeworth, he can't take it, can he? He gives all the talk to people, but he just can't take it himself. Right, let's have a look at this. Look at all the food he wasted. What's this? What is it, detective? Did you find an important piece of evidence? A giant parfait on top of bread and steak? Paint me jealous, sir. It's a feast. Yeah, I'm with you, Gumshoe. I was talking about that parfait last episode. Maybe I should just let him have the giant parfait so that we can move on. Ew, no. How long's it been there at this point? Hours. The man in this seat was the one we just saw out in the airport lobby hyperventilating. If he's so scared to fly, then why take an airplane to begin with? Yeah, if he's that scared, he should have caught a ferry or a cruise ship or something. By the way, were you okay with all the turbulence, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, it was nothing I couldn't handle. I should have figured, right? As if you'd get on a plane if you were scared of them. Indeed. Oh no. This was my seat. Wow, you read law books even when you're flying, sir? Were you expecting anything less? Now, come along, we must hurry to the crime scene. Hold on a sec. There's a different book stuck in here. The Steel Samurai's... Detective Gumshoe, am I going to have to charge you with invasion of privacy? Oh. Edgeworth. You sneaky boy. You weren't reading a law book. And he is a secret Steel Samurai fanboy. He must be. Oh, we can investigate again. Look, it's not ticked. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, I think you have too many red knights on this board. It's just your imagination. And it looks like that blue pawn is being completely surrounded by the red knights. Now you're seeing things. Sir, I don't think you're supposed to have lots of the same piece like in checkers. I know that, detective. What do you take me for? Okay, oh, I got an achievement for doing that. for investigating with Gumshoe. This was the victim's seat. His jacket's just lying there and his spilled leftover coffee's still there too. I don't suppose anyone ever expects to die. Oh, that was dark, but yes. Let's have a look at this. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, this urn's got a seatbelt strapped tightly around it. It must be of great value to Mr. LeBlanc then. Yeah, I guess if you don't want to churn your urn, then it's always best to buckle up. Excuse me? Obviously. But did that have anything to do with the case, Detective? Nobody gets my jokes. Oh. Mr. Edgeworth, what is this super expensive looking beast of Jurassic proportions? It's just the food they serve in first class. Wow, I am so jealous, sir. I want to ride in first class sometime. Yeah, me and you both, Gumshoe. Right, when pigs fly and I own my own private jet. Right, let's go back to the crime scene. Now that we've done that. There wasn't anything important, but I just like to see Edgeworth and Gumshoe's interactions. It's funny. Right, let's talk to him then. Did you finish taking his statement yet? Yep, all done, sir. I do not concern if you're not done examining the cargo hold. I want my cargo back. Right, let's talk to him about his cargo. If you make a single scratch on my art, you will pay. Art? Sort of art. Mr. LeBlanc is an art dealer, so he's got a bunch of artwork down in the cargo hold, sir. There's practically a mountain of them, large and small. From folk costumes to stone statues, I sell all kinds of arts. Folk costumes? Speaking of which, Mr. LeBlanc's hat. Oh, yeah. That's, the same fabric that we found right at the end of, the last video. In the suitcase, right? It's the same design. Kind of looks like that other piece of cloth. Or should we present to him? Should we present that? See what he's got to say. Mr. LeBlanc, can you please take a look at this for me? Oh, it's a Borginian cloth. As I suspected, your hat is made of the same material, I suppose. Yes, of course, this fabric is so famous, orders come from all over the seas for more. Oh, okay. Then, this is the cargo you were talking about earlier? No. My cargo this time is much, many gigantic. You, Detective, when can I have my cargo moved? You can get your cargo back when we're done investigating, pal. The stubbornness of you police, it is no good. And it is no good that attendant refuses to exit the attendance room too. That attendant? I wonder if he's talking about Miss Tornado. Right, okay, so that's been updated. Let's talk to him about her. What did you mean by that attendant, Mr. LeBlanc? She was taken into the attendance room for her interview. And then they still have not come out. They make no sign of coming out either. I was finished with my own interview much earlier, quicker than her. Why is Miss Tornado's interview the only one that's taking up so much time? Oh, it's her again. Miles Edgeworth, you were given free rein to examine the plane, weren't you? Yes, I was able to contain the cooperation of the flight attendants. Speaking of attendants, I'd like to speak with Miss Tornado. I wonder if you might grant me permission to enter the flight attendants' room. Before I do, you still have to clear up a few issues surrounding your own circumstances. I understand. You may have tricked those attendants with your sophisticated talking, but you can't pull the wool over my eyes, Miles Edgeworth. Franziska's logic. Oh, okay. So we've got to convince her that we are innocent. Let's not complicate things and go with the most obvious conclusion. The scene of the crime was here, in the very lounge the body was discovered. From the time the victim was seen calling for an attendant until his body was found. The only person in this lounge the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth. This, unmistakably, makes you the likeliest suspect. Okay, I've spotted something big that we can break down her logic with. The likeliest suspect, Franziska. Do you have a problem with that? No, but it's not like you to use such vague wording. You're usually a bit more absolute. I'm simply trying to watch out for you. Or is my kindness too hard for you to comprehend? Thank you, but your leniency is unnecessary, for I will prove my innocence soon enough. I want to continue in my investigation. I have to break her line of logic, fast. Okay, let's remind ourselves then before we... I'm pretty sure I know what we need to present and press, but let's have a quick look. I don't think there's anything here, that's just her opening statement, right? The scene of the crime was here, in the very lounge the body was discovered. However, if we click E to present, and we're just going to have a quick look. We presumed up until the end of the last video that the crime scene was here in the elevator, right? However, we then found this right at the end when we were investigating the gift shop. And this suitcase was lined up. It didn't have the stoppers under the wheels. It had grape juice on the wheels. And there's no grape juice inside the gift shop. And when we opened it up, it was open. It had a blood stain in the corner. And then it had this blood-stained cloth inside. So we figured out that actually this must have been used to transport the body. So I suppose we could just go ahead and present this to her here because she's not aware of this evidence, right? Let's try that. Present.
Objection!
Oh, we did it, I think. It would appear that you did not have all the information you needed after all. And what does that mean? I found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves the body was moved from a different location. The killer used this suitcase to move the victim's body, meaning that the real scene of the crime is not this lounge at all.
Objection!
Now who's the one rashly jumping to conclusions? Excuse me? All you did was find this piece of cloth inside the suitcase. That doesn't prove that the body was moved. It could be that the killer simply chose that suitcase as a good place to hide the cloth. I expected you would come to that conclusion. It would seem I can't escape that easily. You should know better than that. A Von Karma is perfect in every way. Ah, but did you know that the killer definitely wheeled the suitcase around at some point?
Objection!
As if there is proof of that. Ah, but there is. Where is the proof that this suitcase was moved around? Well, you can actually see the wheels on that. Yeah, this one. Look, footprints and something being dragged. Let's try that.
Take that!
The spilled grape juice in front of the elevator. Yes, and I'd like to draw your attention to this area here. Where is the evidence that proved the killer dragged the suitcase through here? It's right here. That'll do.
Take that!
This mark here. Wouldn't you say that it looks suspiciously like tracks from two wheels? I suppose. Further, there is also grape juice residue on the wheels of the suitcase. This means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here. I suppose this means that the killer did move the victim's body from somewhere else. I'm glad you've come to your senses.
Objection!
Not so fast. This still doesn't put you in the clear. Not by a long shot. How does it... Well, I suppose she's thinking he could have been the one to move it, right? You prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit that turbulence. And then you waited for the victim in the lounge, where you beat him to death. Then, while you were in the elevator with the victim's body stuffed into the suitcase, plane hit that patch of turbulence and out flew the body from within the suitcase. With no way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you had taken it from, and pretended to be the discoverer of the body. Okay. Not a bad bit of logic for something you thought of on the fly. Just what are you insinuating? That I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is. No matter how strong of a face you put on, not even you can hide your fears from me. I'll expose the flaws in her logic in one foul swoop. Okie dokie. So she thinks that we got the... Well, we're not the killer, but she thinks that we got the piggy bank before the turbulence, but we know that can't be true. We know that can't be true because we know that it was taken out of the display case after the turbulence because of the location of the glass, the shards of glass. It sort of burst out of the display cabinet during the turbulence. Let's present that then. That's it.
Objection!
The fact that you took this piece of evidence into account in your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared. Evidence and logic. Essential tools that those who would stand in a courtroom must learn to master. But what if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix? A fake? This Captain Hugo piggy bank is just such a fake. It is not the real murder weapon. What? The timing of when the bank was taken from the shop is important, and it was taken after the turbulence had occurred. But then, what about the blood on the bank? What do you make of that? I assume it was added after the murder when the killer fabricated this weapon. Looking at it this way, the killer basically did 3 things after the turbulence. After exiting the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it there. Then the killer proceeded to pick the bank up from off the floor and took it to fabricate a fake murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head. Finally, the victim's wallet was planted on my personage, in my pocket to be precise. Everything was done so that I would be framed for the murder of Mr. Akbay Hicks. You there! Yes, ma'am. Other than this piggy bank, was anything else resembling a murder weapon found? We didn't find anything in this lounge or in the shop that could be used as one, ma'am. Most of the items that could be used were broken during the turbulence. And the remaining items all tested negative for any traces of blood. I see. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it appears your stall tactics are at an end. But it's possible that it's just hidden somewhere, sir. If the criminal had wanted to hide the weapon in a safer place, I'd think the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as the bloody cloth. Exactly what I was thinking. Because the cloth was hidden inside that suitcase, it signals to me that the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence. Which means that the real murder weapon is either still on the murderer's personage or is still at the real crime scene.
Objection!
There is one more possibility, and that would be that the piggy bank is in fact the real weapon. But didn't we just... Let me finish. The killer took the bank out from the display before the turbulence by opening the lock on the display case door. And it was at that time that the glass pane in the door was broken. I'd say that's a perfectly reasonable line of reasoning, wouldn't you? Let's see. So that means that the killer had the key to the display case. Franziska, the person you're talking about... Not so fast, I'm not finished. The person I'm talking about also committed another sin. She tricked the captain and granted you permission to conduct your investigation. Yes, it is the sin of lying. Speaking of which, I recall that you also wish to speak with her. Yes. Very well, permission granted, but only if I can sit in on your interrogation. Do we understand each other? I have no intention of interrogating her, but you are welcome to accompany me if you so wish. Miss Tornado is in the flight attendant's room. Let's move. Okay, let's go. We haven't been in here yet. March 12th, 2:23 p.m. First floor, flight attendant's room. So, you're the one that poked around inside the plane without the captain's permission. Deviating from the flight attendant's manual is very unbecoming, you know. What were you hoping to accomplish by doing that? Miss Tornado. Ah, Mr. Edgeworth, you're here too? I can't remember what voice I did for her. I hope I'm doing that right. Can you please help us and shed some light on why you did what you did? All right. What is all this in here? Can't look. Oh, we can. What is all this junk inside these boxes? There's no rhyme or reason to any of it. That's our lost and found, Mr. Edgeworth. Gold crowns and swords and necklaces. It's like a treasure trove in here, sir. The fact that these were left on the plane implies they were carried onto it to begin with. Something tells me it's time for Hugo to send its metal detectors out for repairs. It's one of those suitcases designed by Miss Tornado. You can tell it's hardly ever been used by the lack of even a single scratch on it. It's pretty easy to tell who sleeps in which bunk just by looking. Yeah, totally. It's got to be Cammy on the bottom, right? I'm almost certain that the well-kept one up top belongs to Miss Tornado. Ew, this bottom one is a giant mess. You sloven, squalid scoundrel of a man! You dare to scrutinise a woman's bed and invade her privacy? Yow! There are some things in life best kept to yourself, Detective. Right, okay, let's talk to Tornado. Oh, she looks really sad. Okay, Captain's permission. Why did you lie about receiving the Captain's permission like that? Because I didn't think I would be allowed to get his permission. What do you mean? The Captain, he only has ears for Cammy. I spoke with the Captain a little earlier myself. He definitely seems to be rather taken with Miss Meal. Yes, and on top of that, I had mistakenly accused Mr. Edgeworth of being the killer. I wanted to make amends. In that case, please allow me to thank you for what you did. Thanks to you, I was able to clear myself of all charges. Really? You were able to prove your innocence? Oh, thank goodness. Miss Tornado, is it? There is one more thing I'd like to ask you. You were in the in-flight shop just before the turbulence, weren't you? Please, answer honestly. Yes, I was. And why were you there? Well, Why the sudden hesitation? Franziska seems to have struck a nerve. In-flight shop. All I did was go check up on the shop like I always do. You're saying it was for work, then? Yes, I'm in charge of the shop, so I have to keep an eye on it. I don't have any reason to go there otherwise. After your visit to the shop, you paid a visit to this room, correct? Yes, I came back to freshen up and adjust my makeup. I'm sorry, but there isn't much else to tell. Miss Tornado claims to have no reason other than duty to go to the shop. Is that all there is to it? Maybe I should ask her about that thing. Okay. By that thing, I'm guessing she means this. Oh, sorry, he means this. I'm guessing Edgeworth means this. If you could please take a look at this for me, Miss Tornado. Oh, that suitcase. Yes, about this suitcase. You are the one who designed it, correct? And I think I figured something else out about it. This suitcase is the reason you went to the shop, isn't it? There's nothing you won't find out eventually, is there? Won't you please tell me more about this suitcase? Yes, I was interested in seeing how the suitcases I'd designed were selling. I know that as a service professional I'm not supposed to care, but I really wanted to know, and I was glad to see that it was the last one there. The last one there? Oh, okay. Maybe we could show her this? I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I don't know how to answer you. As a professional flight attendant, I'm a failure. She must be worn out from the long questioning session she just went through. Okay, so nothing there, right? Okay, let's go back. Let's ask her about the last suitcase. So, you're saying, Miss Tornado, that the suitcase in question was the last one? Yes, they're just so popular, they're practically flying off the shelves. That's not exactly the impression I got. The one in the shop is most definitely the last one. Well, we're currently looking at that suitcase. Really? Then I guess we sold all of them. Thank you very much for taking the last one. I didn't say anything about buying it. Then say you'll buy it. I'm sorry, I can't. But why? I think it'd go great with your complexion, Mr. Edgeworth. It really suits you. I guarantee it personally as a service professional. Well, that is... How should I put this? It's hideous. What? Maybe that was a bit too direct. Yeah, that's personal. You could have just said it's not your style or something. Moving on, my issue with the suitcases isn't the design. It's the number of them remaining. Remaining? There were 2 suitcases in the in-flight shop when I investigated it. 2? But that's impossible. I'm sure there was only 1. Looks like her story has generated quite the contradiction. When I left the shop, I'm positive there was only 1 suitcase left. Something is amiss here. What could be the meaning of this inconsistency? Indeed. By the way, Miss Tornado, what is one of those suitcases doing here? That's... I thought you said there was only 1 left. That one is, it's mine. I've used it for a very long time now. But it's got a price tag on it. That can't be right. Yeah, look, it's... She's used it for a long time. I think not. Miss Tornado, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't lie to me. Excuse me? I don't believe for even 1 second that you've used this for a very long time. Yeah, it's definitely the price tag. Why would you keep a price tag on something that you've been using for a long time?
Take that!
Tell me, Miss Tornado, is it also your habit to keep the price tag pristine on your suitcase? Ah. What is the meaning of this? Why would you lie about a suitcase? Despite having faith in her design sense, the sales numbers made her cry bitter tears. The truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. Miss Tornado, I think I understand. I know what you're trying to hide. Now then, this suitcase was originally in the in-flight shop, right? It must be. Seeing as how the price tag is still on this suitcase, one can only assume it was out on the floor for sale in the shop. And the person who bought this suitcase was... herself, I suppose? She bought it herself to make it seem like the suitcase that she lovingly designed was selling.
Take that!
It was you, wasn't it, Miss Tornado? I hate to say this, but this suitcase that you designed, it hasn't sold very well, has it? You saw how poorly this design that you poured your heart into was selling, and were deeply hurt. That's why you wanted to make it look like it was selling by buying it yourself. Isn't that right? Then, the reason you went to the shop and came back here was... I'm sorry. All I really have is my job. I was overjoyed when my design was chosen. I thought that maybe Maybe I'd finally accomplished something. But the suitcases didn't sell. It's because of the design, isn't it? Or because it's, as you put it, hideous. Can't say they chose a great place in which to sell them either. We weren't selling a single one, and they were just sitting there collecting dust. I felt so bad seeing them there, day in, day out. So I decided to buy one for every flight I worked. Oof, that's a lot of money. You buy one every single time you work a flight? I see. So in order to keep your resolution, you went and bought one today as well? Yes, and here is my receipt for that purchase. This receipt is clearly time-stamped 5:40 AM. So that's why she was being really cagey about what she had to do in the shop at that time. She was like, duty. But it wasn't duty. She was just doing her usual of buying a suitcase. Oh, that's really sad. So if it's not her, who is it? The truth is, there's still a bunch of them left unsold. They're planning to scrap the remaining ones at the end of this flight. Miss Tornado, where are these other suitcases? They should all be down in the cargo hold. Is that where the murder really took place? But why would Hicks be in the cargo hold? Maybe not. Maybe not. Then the suitcase the killer used could very well have come from the cargo hold. Mr. Edgeworth, you don't think that the killer used one of my suitcases to... Yes, I do. The killer used one of your beloved suitcases to move the victim's body. Ah, how could they? Those suitcases were meant to be faithful partners to our passengers on their trips. That's all I ever wished for them to be. Miss Tornado, is there any other way to get to the cargo hold other than the elevator? The only other way is just through that door there. And what about security? That door has no special lock installed because, just to enter this room, you need a special keycard that only crew members have access to. Which means that the culprit is someone who can enter this room, eliminating the passengers and leaving only crew members as potential suspects. I can't believe it. Yes, Franziska? Going on these wild goose chases, you're a disgrace to the Von Karma name. What do you mean by that? The suitcase came from the cargo hold. That fact alone tells us the whole story. Yes, which is why I said the culprit must be a crew member who used their keycard. Miles Edgeworth, you're proposing that the killer rode the elevator from the cargo hold, correct? Yes, that's the only realistic possibility. That other attendant, Ms. Meal, I asked her earlier and she had this to say. Franziska got information out of Miss Meal. In order to make the elevator go down to the cargo hold, a different keycard is required. A different one? Yes, and the only person who holds that particular card is you, Miss Rhoda Tornado, and only you. Ah! What? Is this true, Miss Tornado? Yes, I keep that keycard in my locker at all times. Could you please show us that card right now? Yes, hold on. I don't believe it. What's wrong? The keycard, it's gone. So either she's a very good actress and she is just stringing us along, or she's being set up here. Ha ha ha, very clever. Pretending that your card was stolen when in fact you're just trying to hide it from us. You've really thought this through. Wait, it's not like that. You can tell us all about what it's like down at the station. Officer, arrest this woman. Yes, ma'am. Oh no, I feel sorry for her. But Mr. Edgeworth, What's wrong? There's disbelief written all over your face. Franziska, I know that you're the lead investigator on this case. However... Hold it! Don't even think about wasting any more of my time. You know the rules as well as I do. Evidence speaks louder than words. Even if this isn't a courtroom, that basic tenet still applies. I intend to investigate the cargo hold now. What will you do, Miles Edgeworth? I intend to do likewise. Yes, let's investigate the cargo hold. Oh, that was a short part. Okay, you know what? I've only been recording for 48 minutes, so I think I will carry on. Lower deck cargo hold. Okay, let's go. So we've got Gumshoe and Franziska with us. Wow, so this is the cargo hold, huh? It's so big. Oh, look, there are loads of those suitcases. She hasn't sold any of them. This plane is a special model. It has both a super large cargo hold and ultra luxurious first class seating. So, is this the real scene of the murder? There is certainly a high probability of that, which is why we're here, correct? Okay, let's get investigating, sir. Yep, let's go. Right then. Let's have a look at this stuff, these crates. All sorts of boxes are piled up here. This one says flammable, and this one, it says pharmaceuticals. This one says for exorcism use only. Oh. Just what kind of operation is this airline running? Yeah. What's this? Hey, what's with the suitcase, pal? It's what the victim checked in, sir. So, this suitcase belonged to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if we took a closer look. Well, he cannot mind. It's impossible. There's nothing out of the ordinary in here, sir. Wait, a file? And there's a photo of Miss Von Karma in it, sir. Looks like a profile on Franziska. That's interesting. Why would Mr. Hicks have had a file on her? Indeed. Let's have a look at that. Oh, nope, nope. Oh wait, it didn't go into my... It didn't go into my evidence. It's just... Maybe it's just in profiles. Oh, I think it went into Q. Up here, look. Yes, there. Okay, we can't do anything with that yet. Anyway, we haven't got enough deductions. Okay, let's have a look at these. Holy suitcases, Mr. Edgeworth. It's like an all-you-can-use suitcase fair. These must be the leftover ones they couldn't sell. The ones the company is planning to dispose of after the flight is over. Couldn't they sell them on like a discount, like before, like at the airport somewhere? This paint job is really cool, don't you think? It practically screams artsy. Oh, why not purchase one then? I'm sure it will bring you much happiness. You think so? Then maybe I will. Let's see here. $1,200? I think I'll pass. And Miss Tornado wonders why they don't sell. You'd need 2 jobs just to buy one. Although, it definitely looks like one is missing. What is this brittle substance I'm stepping on? It's a bunch of glass fragments. I think I know what those are from. Yes. Should we deduce this? Or should we explore? You've probably thought the same thing, like, oh, I know what that is. Let's do a little bit more exploring and then we'll have a look at it. Exciting, though. Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the cargo crew. This sure brings back memories of when I worked as a part-time mover, sir. By the look in his eyes, he's waiting for me to ask about the rest of the story. Yeah, ask Edgeworth. We want all of the gumshoe lore, or I do at least. And no matter how he pours on the puppy eyes, I have no intention of doing so. Oh, Edgeworth. I think Edgeworth puts on this tough guy act, but I think he does care about him. Let's talk to him. Yes, sir? Let's ask him about Tornado's lie. So that flight attendant, Rhoda Tornado, she's the killer, isn't she? Well, I thought so, but I'm not so sure anymore. I don't think we can say for sure yet. But there certainly are a great number of things pointing us in that direction. You mean like how she didn't tell us about her buying her own suitcase? Yes, however, in regard to the keycard being stolen, I can't seem to find any evidence that she's lying about that. Yeah. We won't ask him about if he notices anything, because he'll just be like, yeah. Yeah, I do. Should we talk to this dude? Have you noticed anything strange happening around here? No, sir. I haven't noticed a thing. I'm not sure that he meant to sound so oblivious. Should we talk to Franziska? I think the next thing we need to do is piece those clues together, so let's talk to her and exhaust that. You arrived at the scene of the crime before Detective Gumshoe, correct? And you then immediately began to direct the investigation. It seems to me that you were already here at this airport for something besides this murder. Yes, I was. Why? I've been following a very large and involved governmental-level international crime. But it's much too large for one person to take on alone. So it was decided that I should form a joint investigation with Interpol. Ah. Interpol is involved? It's a top-secret operation, so I really can't tell you any more than I already have. Ah, okay, right. So, we've got 4 things in our little clues thing. And I think we can just pair them up. So broken glasses, that's what the glass shards are from, right? It's the only thing they could possibly be linked to. But why were his glasses shards down here? Was he really killed down here? Wow. Let's find out. I think we can safely conclude that these fragments are from a pair of glasses. And the victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses. Exactly what I was thinking. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remnants of his glasses' lenses. Ergo, the victim was here, just as I suspected. So, you're saying that the real scene of the crime was here, sir? Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now? Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Perhaps it's a bit early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe that the probability has just skyrocketed considerably. All that's left is to find the murder weapon. Okay, and do you think we could put these together? Because if she's coming to the airport as an Interpol liaison, then maybe he works for Interpol and they were going to be partners. And that could be our motive, couldn't it, for him being killed? Maybe whoever's involved wanted to get rid of him. I don't know, maybe. Now, why would Mr. Hicks have documents profiling Franziska? Oh, I know. I bet he's a big fan of Miss Von Karma, sir. Franziska said that she had come to this airport as part of an Interpol investigation. Oh, maybe Mr. Hicks had heard she was coming here and he followed her. Detective, I think it's more likely that Mr. Hicks was, in actuality, Interpol agent Hicks. I think Franziska has some explaining to do. Yeah, she does. Truth behind Hicks. You came to this airport to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you? Nonsense. What are you talking about? We found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him so that he could recognise you when he landed. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol agent Hicks. Isn't that correct? I should have known you'd figure it out, Miles. But it looks like they'd got to him first. So, you really did come here to receive an Interpol agent then? Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trail of a very large international smuggling ring. Smuggling ring? Could that be LeBlanc, maybe? Is he smuggling these art pieces? He went undercover to investigate this crime. And it was I who put him on this case. I was supposed to receive a call from him on his cell phone once he had landed. I never expected to receive a call about his murder instead. Yeah, that would have been a shock. I think we now have pretty definitive evidence that Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold. But why? Well, maybe he was looking at the cargo to see if anything in here was being smuggled. Well, what was he doing down here, sir? There's nothing but luggage. Oh, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in his suitcase and came down to get it. Ow! Agent Hicks came here for a work-related reason. Of that, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. Franziska, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue his investigation? No, unfortunately, I was going to find out from him after he landed. I see, but this raises another question. A normal passenger can't access the cargo hold on their own. Agent Hicks must have identified himself to a member of the crew. Oh, I think I read that as Edgeworth, sorry. And entered the cargo hold with that person who let him in. Yes, and then he was murdered here. These glass fragments and his broken glasses are a testament to that. And then the killer put Agent Hicks into one of the spare suitcases, and they entered the elevator. But while they were riding it up, the plane hit that patch of turbulence. Because of the intense shaking, the suitcase popped open and Agent Hicks's body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor. Nice, we completed the investigation. I think it's pretty easy to say who the culprit is at this stage. What? Really, sir? I know what you're thinking, Miles Edgeworth. But the killer can be none other than Miss Rhoda Tornado. I'm not sure. If it was a crew member, any one of them could have shown Agent Hicks to the cargo hold. But the point to keep in mind is the keycard that allows the elevator to come down here. The only person with such high-level access is Miss Rhoda Tornado. I'd say that's a pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you? I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that. Yeah, I don't think so either. Let me have a quick look at my evidence. What have we got? Alright, what's next? Where is this keycard now? Okay, well, shall we press her on each one?
Hold it!
When in doubt, press. That might be true, but then it could be anyone, including Miss Meal or even the captain. Don't be a fool. A plane without a pilot in the cockpit is like a horse without a rider, prop in hand, much like Scruffy over there. Hey! I can't disagree with her on that. Detective Gumshoe does always need a guiding hand. Oh, talking about him like it's an animal. Very well, then what about the other flight attendant, Miss Meal? Ha! I thought you might ask about her. Press.
Hold it!
But it's highly likely that the keycard was stolen from Miss Tornado.
Objection!
It's highly likely? Is that possibility the best you can come up with? And you call yourself a disciple of my father? Ugh. Yes, well, while I don't have any evidence, Be quiet. You're a disgrace. There's more evidence pointing to Miss Rhoda Tenero, you know. It's not just the key card that gives her away. Are you talking about the murder weapon, the Captain Hugo piggy bank? Yes, she is also the only person with a key to open that display case. But all of these things could have been taken from her, right? Okay. Oh, so this has been added, right? This wasn't part of her original testimony. Let's press her on this one.
Hold it!
Objection!
But that... stop right there, Miles Edgeworth. You don't have any proof that this is just a red herring. If you must keep on insisting that it's a fake, then what is the real murder weapon and where did it go? Speechless, I see. That's not a surprise. After all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. There must be a way. There must be something that can help me rule out the piggy bank as the murder weapon. What should be examined further to help us ascertain the authenticity of the weapon? The body? Yeah, it must be the body, right? Because if this weapon, the piggy bank, is a fake, then surely the wound on the back of his head would be really superficial and not enough to have caused his death, right? It would just be like a thunk on the back of the head. We've explored the crime scene to death at this point, haha. And the piggy bank we've also looked at really closely, so the last thing that we haven't really looked at is the body. Franziska, I think you were too quick to jump to your conclusions. Oh, was I? Yes, we don't even have the autopsy results yet. How can I not say that you made a snap judgment when you have yet to even see if the wound on Agent Hicks's head is consistent with the murder weapon? Scruffy! Yes, sir. Contact the medical examiner's office at once. I wish to hear the results of Agent Hicks's autopsy. Yes, sir. Wow, Gumshoe is like terrified. I mean, I would be terrified of her as well if she kept hitting me with a whip. We've got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Oh, yeah? What? What is it? What is it, Detective? They're still doing the autopsy, but they said that they already know this one thing for sure. Report, now. The doc said that it's one giant bruise from a beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back. From the victim's shoulder to his mid-back? He was beaten over such a wide area. Well, I'd say maybe it's a sign that the killer had a grudge against Agent Hicks. It wasn't just his head. The killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir. So he did die from the hit to the head, but he's also got major bruising. Scruffy, what is had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean? Well, that's, Was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, Detective? Oh, well, they said they were still looking into that, sir. You're completely useless. No, he isn't. Yow! He isn't. He's doing his best. Sir, I told you already, you can't go down there. I don't know who this is. Oh, is it LeBlanc? No, you remove yourself from my way. I'm guessing it's LeBlanc. That voice might be totally wrong. What is all that racket? Ah, yes. My luggage, my cargo, they're mine and I demand you return them to me. We're still investigating the cargo hold. Please understand and have a little patience. I suppose there is no choice. Finally, I think he gave... Hey, what are you... You have left me no choice but to use strong force. Ah! You won't get past me. Oh no, is he gonna... Oh! Is he gonna be okay? That could kill him. This is... Wait, that's it! So that's what this whole thing has been about. Further, there is the matter of the key to the display case that held the murderous bank. After all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. Oh. Did he fall in the turbulence? Did he fall over here? And that's the glasses fragments would be just below there as well, wouldn't they? Ah. The doc said that it's one giant bruise from a beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back. Oh. Okay, right. I think the smuggling one is probably, we leave that aside for now because I can't see how it really fits with all of them. I'm going to put cause of death beating with weapon couldn't be found. That implies that actually maybe he fell down the stairs. Maybe he fell off there onto something. Maybe he was pushed. But maybe the bruising, the weapon was all of the cargo crates and things. I'm going to try it. No? Okay, then... Oh, well, that and that, right? Yeah, sorry, I should have read the Captain Hugo one a little bit closer. A little bit more closer. That's got to be it, right? Yeah, okay. Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over, which is why there is extensive bruising over such a wide area. But is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruise from his shoulder to the middle of his back is one continuous mark, which is more suggestive of a single blow to the back. If that's the case, then the piggy bank is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must be something far bigger. Right, what about LeBlanc though? Is he okay? Do you think we connect those two? I still don't think the smuggling one is really... We're trying to figure out the cause of death right now, right? Not the motive or the reason he was there. It's got to be those two. If we're looking for a rather large weapon, you'd think it would stick out. But so far we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we all overlooked from the very beginning. Because normally it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration. What was that all about? Was he trying to jump his way down here? Franziska. What? What do you want? I found it, Franziska. I found the real murder weapon. You did? He really jumped. We didn't realise it until now, but the answer has been right in front of us this whole time. He might be hurt. We should go check up on him, sirs. They don't care about LeBlanc at all. To be honest, though, that's the officer's job up there, right? He should be trying to help him. There's that pompous attitude of yours again. You should really learn to drop that habit. This coming from a prosecutor with a habit of whipping everyone she comes across. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself, Edgeworth. Anyway, if you really are a prosecutor, then you'll back yourself up with evidence. You two aren't listening at all, are you? Come on then, show me this real murder weapon you speak of. Do we have evidence? We don't have any evidence, right? I don't think we actually have evidence. I think it was either the floor or one of these crates. I don't have any evidence to show you. Foolish reasoning for a foolish fool from a foolishly foolish fool meant to fool me. Huh? What do you mean by I don't have any evidence to show? Perhaps I should have phrased it as that which caused Agent Hicks's death is incorporeal. Forgive me, but I do believe I've figured out what was the real cause of death. Free fall? Must be. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is free falling to the ground. He fell to his death? Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on the back of his head and his back, and the only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death. But the murder happened inside this plane. I know. Are you claiming that there is someplace in this plane from which he could have fallen from? As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us the entire time. You can't mean... Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs of this very cargo hold. What? Then... We're in trouble. We may have a second death on our hands, sirs. Hey, you! Tell me you aren't dead, pal. Quiet. Why are you screaming? He's alive. And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hicks fell over the railing to his death. That man is living proof of that. I suppose it's true that it's not possible, given the current circumstances. Yeah, if it was during the turbulence could have, not only made him fall over the railing, but given him that extra push so that he wouldn't fall on top of that cargo, but over it and onto the floor. Or maybe he tumbled, hit his head off the corner of that and then fell onto his back or anything like that. The current circumstances? What is that supposed to mean? Suppose that large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then? It would have been a Borginian pancake for sure, sir. I suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. But the reality is that the cargo box is there. So there is no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios. It may be there now, but there is no proof that it was always there. Ha! As if there could have been a window of time when that giant box was not there. Ah, but there was. What? What can I use to show her that it's possible the box was not always where it is now? Oh, I totally forgot about this. They stopped between 4 and 5 a.m. to transfer cargo, right? Could have been moved around then. Yeah, let's go with that.
Take that!
You refueled in the Republic of Zhengfa? Yes, this flight had a short layover in Zhengfa in order to refuel. But that wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. What if the box in question was only transferred onto the plane at that time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question. Ah, it's labelled Zhengfa Express. Where? Oh yeah, there. Correct, meaning it was loaded onto the plane in Zhengfa. Yes, I see. Now, what if the box in question was also loaded on at the same time? It would mean that the box was not here in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zhengfa leg of the flight, making a clear drop from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death entirely possible. But your theory is still very far-fetched. Then allow me a chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. My first order of business will be to examine that piece of cargo in more detail. Which piece? The Zhengfa one? Okay. Examine this again. So, Mr. Hicks was actually an Interpol agent. That is so cool. I can't believe he was from Interpol. The adventure, the glamour, and the miraculous big escape when you get caught by the enemy. Oh, not this case. Oh, except in this case there was no big escape. And no miracle. Okay, so we want to have a look at this stuff, right? Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the cargo crew. Oh no, we saw this. Okay. So, oh, this here, right. This is a rather large piece of cargo. There's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. Aleph Red Statue? Never heard of it. Nor I, but all I care about is if we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime. Then let's get investigating, sir. Oh no, it's LeBlanc. Oh, is that his cargo? Look here, do not go about touching my possessions without my permission. Well, your permission doesn't matter if it's a crime investigation. Ah, don't rush up on me like that, pal. So this belongs to Mr. LeBlanc, does it? I should see what else I can find out from him. Let's talk to him. LeBlanc's cargo. I take it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc? Of course it is mine. I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe. This Aleph Red statue is worth 10 million cents. No, maybe much, much more. Mr. LeBlanc's reason for choosing this plane must have been the large cargo hold. 10 million cents? He's still working on it. I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that makes, Detective. Darn. How did you do that? I feel like you keep getting better and better at seeing right through me every year. Though I grow with each revolution of the planet round the sun, I have the distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place. Oh, but he's a character though. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, so that 10 million cents, is that in euros or in dollars? Does it really make a difference to our case? Mr. LeBlanc, there is a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer. It is a very valuable piece of art, so no, there will be no touching. Yeah, but we kind of have to then. Let's go back. Talk to him. If you spot anything off, you come and tell me right away, okay, pal? Roger, sir. It's rather unusual for Gumshoe to be so directing. I must outrank this officer. If you run into any trouble, you just leave it up to me, okay? Yes, sir. Watch out, Detective Gumshoe. Ow! Scruffy, I think your ego is in need of some deflating. I was following in your footsteps, sir. I want to try patronising my subordinates. Cruel and unforgiving to the detective, even in front of his own subordinate. Yeah, it's undermining him. Right, okay, so we've got to present something to him then. I was looking at this earlier and thinking maybe he'd be interested in the statue in the background. Should we try it? Why do you show me something of no value? Show me the bread first and maybe we'll talk. He wants me to pay him before he'll comment on this? Okay, so it's not that. Maybe we have to show him this, the badge. I've tried a couple of other things, but he just keeps saying it's useless to him. So sometimes in these games you have to... There are times when you have to show your badge as a kind of like, you know, saying like, hey, this is important, this is my job, I have to do this. Ah, yeah. You! I can say you have the guts to show me a piece of art at this time. But from a single glance I can already tell it is mostly worthless. Huh. This has much more value as a piece of non-art, I assure you. You look like you have something to say. Perhaps you were thinking, like casting pearls before swine? He actually hit the nail on the head for once. Oh, okay, but he said something about it, but it was nothing. Okay, I've tried a couple of things. I've tried talking a bit more to LeBlanc. I tried presenting him with stuff. So I think the only thing left to do is deductions. So, oh, that's here. Okay, right. I totally forgot that that went up into the thoughts area. So put these together. It's the only thing I could think to do. Yeah, I think LeBlanc is involved in this smuggling operation. If Mr. LeBlanc has something to do with the smuggling ring, then it's possible that this fake statue was brought on board in Zhengfa. I think I need to question him a bit further. Yes, now we can talk to him. About your statue, Mr. LeBlanc. I wonder if it might be a fake. What? How dare you say my art is fake? I suspect that your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring. Don't say such fantastical things. Those thieves would not dare. I have the certification of my cargo right here. Do you mean the cargo certification document? Mr. Zinc LeBlanc, why didn't you say so earlier? Please, show it to us at once. I can't read this. What does it say? It says as plain as day, the cargo was put onto the plane in Europe. And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. Too bad for you. This statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states in this certificate. No, that's... Which means that there never was a window of time in which the statue wasn't sitting there. But it's written in Borginian, like, we just have his word again about that, right? We need someone neutral to translate this for us. He could be lying. I respectfully disagree. We can't discount the theory until I see the statue for myself. Humph! Then you can have your wish. Look at it yourself and see that I am right. Ah, that's the statue from the picture. This, I know I've seen this somewhere before. This is the Aleph Red? But, oh, the one in the... We tried to show him that earlier, or I did. Look. Can you see the difference? Something very different between those two statues. Gives us such a feeling of art, I can practically smell it. This statue has a high amount of historical value. After it was unveiled at a museum in Europe, I brought it to this country to exhibit it. Yeah, but it might be worth 10 cents, not 10 million cents. I believe a closer look is warranted here. Yeah, let's have a look. So, this is the infamous Aleph Red statue, What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Did you find something? There's something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. Yeah, okay, I don't know whether you noticed it, but I straight away saw that for a statue called the Aleph Red, it's got yellow eyes, whereas the picture we can see in Hicks's photo has red eyes. It's fake. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Yeah, this one. Must be.
Eureka!
Eureka indeed. These eyes are awfully orange, don't you think? Yeah, and pretty. They remind me of sunsets when I was in grade school, sir. I don't think you see what I'm talking about. No, I do. But it's really like the colour of the sun when it's setting, sir. Ah, the memories. I remember standing out in that field, spinning with my arms out until I felt ill. Oh. I don't care about sunsets. Focus, detective. What colour are the eyes in this photo? Huh? Ah, sir, they're red. As I thought, this statue is a fake. Mr. LeBlanc, what do you want? Do you not know I am a busy man? I allow you 2 seconds for your answer. The Aleph Red. I suppose this is your pride and joy, is it not? It is the biggest trophy on this European trip. Do you know why I wanted to possess this statue? The trigger started 17 years ago. Better grab a chair, sir. Sounds like this is going to be a long story. Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but... What is that? Sympathy? For what? You'll see. I'd like you to compare the eyes. That large fellow there has very bright and pretty eyes compared to you. Oh, is he talking about Gumshoe? Oh. I wasn't talking about the two of us. I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us and the one in this photo. Why the sudden yelling? Now then. Oh. It is a photo of the statue on display at the museum in Europe. What? Now do you see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake. A fake? I believe that even further examination will be required, now that we have confirmed that this is indeed a fake. There must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Zhengfa, and I will present to you evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction. Oh, okay. Oh, we just have to look at all of it. Okay. I can't believe you were able to tell this was a fake from a single glance, sir. You knew right away that its eyes were a different colour than the ones in the photo. Yes, unlike a certain detective who needs to try a little harder. The fact that this is a fake means it was swapped with the real one at some point. Okay, let's have a look down here. Look at this. What's this? The statue looks like it's stepping all over its neighbour's cloth cover. Oh yeah, I see, I didn't notice that. Wait, yeah, if this was loaded in Europe, and this was loaded later at Zhengfa, how can this statue be on top of the cloth cover of the other one? It kind of resembles its owner's attitude in a sense. Oh. You, what did you say now? Further, my clothing's hem is not being stepped on by anyone. It's too expensive for me to allow that to happen. Please, forgive the trespasses of my subordinate. Why should I forgive if the dress passes? Unless it is an expensive dress, you keep it. What is he talking about? Let's look at this. What have we here? It says Zhengfa Express on the cloth, sir. Something is tugging on the corner of my mind. So something is out of place? Yeah, it's got to be this. Let's deduce. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Yeah. The certification. It can't have been.
Eureka!
Not entirely confident. Yes, there is! What do you think, Detective? Well, I think it's really suspicious looking, sir. My well-trained gut tells me so. I see. Oh no, I'm losing life. How come when I answer confidently, you take that to mean we're off course, sir? Because... well, you're not very bright, are you, Gumshoe? Okay. I think we're on the right lines with this cloth. I think I just need to present a different piece of evidence. So the only other piece, if we tried this, I think the only other piece would be that, right? That tells us that this was on, loaded on after this one. Let's try that. Ah, yeah, that's it. There's clearly a contradiction here. What are you going on about? It's just a simple case of a cargo cover getting stuck under another piece of cargo. Ah, that's not possible. Well, it is. It shouldn't be this way, but the statue is on top of the cloth. Supposing that the neighbouring piece of cargo was brought on board in Zhengfa, there is no way that any part of it should wind up under something from Europe. Which means that this fake statue was smuggled on board in Zhengfa. But then, what about the cargo certificate? It's fake. Let me ask in return. What about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of the flight? There is only one reason why. To secure proof of smuggling activity aboard this flight. So you say, but I don't believe he had to do that mid-flight. We could have just as easily inspected all of the cargo after the plane landed. That may be true. However, you have it backwards, Franziska. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane had landed. But he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he had found the fake at the airport. It would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would naturally fall onto the statue's owner, who would have no way to prove that the statue was switched without his knowledge. Which means there is someone involved who is forging or modifying cargo certificates. Ah. Investigation complete. Yay, my health. A guess the victim knew the real version of this was going to get nabbed, huh? Yes, while this photo could be seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir, it was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later on. Oh, that's why he took it, because maybe he knew it was being targeted, yeah, and he wanted to see exactly as the real thing looked. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold. A rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board. A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold the Zhengfa cargo crew and arrest the smuggler. Exactly, this only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zhengfa leg of the trip, there would have been enough height from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death. Officer! Move this statue immediately! What gumshoe? How is he going to do that? Oh wait, officer, not Scruffy. I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath. Now! Miss Von Karma, I'm ready to report my findings. Go on. After moving the Aleph Red statue out of the way, we tested the area under it with luminol, and there was a reaction. Oh, blood? I see. There was a reaction to luminol, an indication that there was blood in that spot. Oh, can we stop looking at it now, sirs? It would seem that my deductions were correct after all. I suppose it would appear that way. Culprit cleaned the blood up well. And how do you think the killer did that? How did the killer clean up all the blood? With the cloth, of course.
Take that!
The killer used the bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess. I see. They had a need to clean up all the blood before the plane landed in Zhengfa. Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover. So, you guys are saying that the murder happened before the plane landed in Zhengfa? There is no other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. But if that is true, then that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. If the murder occurred before we landed in Zhengfa, then this becomes highly suspect. I need to have a reminder of the evidence first, I think. So we'll look at the profiles. Okay, so it'll probably be in evidence, right? Let's have a quick look at the evidence. Body found at 6:15. So this was loaded between 4 and 5, so the murder had to happen before 4 o'clock. Well, he was dead at that point. Oh, and that's Ms. Meal's testimony. Yeah, it's hers. Hers is suspicious. Yeah. Recall Ms. Meal's testimony about Agent Hicks in regard to when we departed Zhengfa. I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 AM, you know. She claims Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service calls, but that totally contradicts the facts, sir. But why would she lie about something like that? I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Meal herself. Oh, to be continued. Nice. So I reckon the next bit is going to be the last, right? And in that, we are probably going to interview her, interrogate her, find out what's going on. Well, okay, I've been recording for quite a while now with those two parts together, so that'll be it for this video. Again, thank you so much for sticking through to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed that. We made a lot of progress in this video. I think we've pretty much sussed out most of the facts of what happened here. We know when and where he was definitely killed, and we know how he was killed now as well. The only question mark that remains is who. So LeBlanc is suspicious. He is involved in smuggling. Or maybe he's innocent. Maybe he doesn't know that he's smuggling that he's, importing fakes. Who knows? But Meal, definitely. We need to find out what she knows, don't we? Anyway, that will do it for today. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.